And then all of a sudden, it becomes a freaking bad soap opera. Almost. If they only say 2 words in Spanish, it would be a telenovela. I mean, come on. But, okay, so...
Cue the long stares into the cameras.
This is Kickin' and Streamin' Podcast, a binge watcher's guide to streaming movies, TV series, and stuff.
2012, I think the era starts for me I don't know about you guys, but this is when I think I started taking my binge watching seriously.
Yeah, I think that's when I woke up.
He achieved consciousness.
Yeah.
From a slumber.
Yeah. I really started to pay attention.
Yeah, 12 years old is right about it.
Yeah, 12, 13, around there.
Yeah, I don't remember anything before that.
Oh, God. That's scary.
Except for the World Cup. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, he still wants to talk about soccer. So, what was trending? What was in the news?
In the news in 2012.
In 2012.
I'm going to start a little light and then go dark. I originally had it the other way around. But, so, first we have the 2012 London Olympics.
Yes. That was it was still Michael Phelps' moment, wasn't he?
Yeah. Michael Phelps is a swimmer dude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he used to come to the town that I grew up in to get high. So.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And you didn't join him?
Yeah, well, I never knew him personally.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
I kind of like your town then.
Yeah, no. Then we had the Costa Concordia shipwreck, which was the cruise ship that
in Italy?
Yeah, that he essentially ran it into.
Yeah, that was the worst fucking captain ever.
Yes. He was literally the worst captain in the history.
Jesus, yeah, I remember that. You remember that?
Yeah, it was a cruise ship, and he ran the cruise ship essentially into the land, just piloted it straight into the land. It capsized sideways. A lot of people died, and he was one of the first people off the ship.
Yeah, he was like,
bye. And it's hilarious if you listen to the Coast Guard in Italy, right? Screaming at him to go back and get on the ship. I mean, because yes, that's what he says to him.
Guardi, schettino, che lei si è salvato forse dal mare, ma io lo porto veramente molto male. Faccio passare l'anima di guai. Vado a bordo, cazzo. Comandante, per cortesia. No, per cortesia, lei adesso prende e va a bordo.
Get back on your ship. You are the captain. You're supposed to be on there to make sure people are off. And the captain is like, no. I'm overseeing things from the land. And the Coast Guard is like, get your ass back on the ship now.
God, worst captain ever.
Yes, worst captain ever.
And what did you have there?
So the last thing I have is dark. But it was the shooting death of Trayvon Martin.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I always remember that weirdly that it happened in 2012, but it doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
I know it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but it was.
Yeah.
I think the shooting death of Trayvon Martin didn't become a big deal until the trial,
which
is when everybody was like grew conscious of it.
Yeah.
Whatever, but like when it happened, it was almost like.
I actually remember when it happened, because of where I was working. They had a particular news station on that decided to grab it and make it a sensationalized story about how wonderful it was that somebody had decided to defend their neighborhood.
Right.
So, unfortunately, I got to hear it from that breakdown side of things, but I was aware that it had happened when it happened because it was before the trial, and I got to hear a lot of opinions from people that made me lose a lot of respect for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's what big news do.
Yeah. So, so when the trial happened, which was the next year, but yeah, I was aware that it happened, and I was sick when it happened because I'm like, this was just a kid. I mean, literally just a kid.
The Trayvon Martin, especially the trial, which I guess it was the year after, but like it was a hard time for me because my son, even in the house, I'm actually shocked he's not wearing a hoodie right now. But even in the house, he'll be like, you know, and I couldn't grasp the notion that wearing a hoodie was becoming a dangerous thing if you were a black teenager.
The deal that was made out of that on the news networks at the time, well, he was wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
I'm wearing pants.
Yes,
and
exactly. She wore pants. It needs to be short. No.
Yeah.
I stopped wearing my hood outside.
I
stopped wearing my hood outside.
You stopped wearing your head?
The hood. the hood.
Yeah, but...
The hood.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
but like...
You put on your head.
Because like I stopped wearing my head outside. I'm like, the hell you were going around like? Just a neck? I got you. So, it was like, okay, so how do I come to my kid and tell him, hey man, don't put this on?
Yeah.
And when he asked me why, I was like, well, you might get shot. Like,
yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, what is he going to think? What the hell country do I live in?
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that, and it was terrible. So it is dark, so let's move on to the light a bit.
Yes, it is dark.
What was your show of 2012? I'm liking what you got every year now so far. Started with Sherlock with a bomb. Bam.
2012 is when Key and Peele started.
Bitch, you are mine tonight.
Yeah.
My show.
This house was full of Key and Peele references that I wanted to slap him around all the time. Like, what are you talking about, man?
I love Key and Peele. I love all of the sketches. I love all of the characters. I love the chemistry between the two. Without it, we wouldn't have, Get Out. We wouldn't have Us. We wouldn't have a lot of stuff. So, I mean, it opened so many doors and so many minds.
Yes. And
it was just, and it's so fucking funny.
So for me, I mentioned Key and Peele, but I have Veep with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and you're not gonna believe this. Like, my favorite character of Veep was actually the one played by Tony Hale.
Was there like an espresso thing, a little pod, Joel, or anything like that?
Jesus fucking Christ. All right, look, watch me, Otis, man. All right, you take the little pod, put the little pod in the fucking hole, shut the fucking lid, hit the fucking button for 2 fucking seconds. Oh, it's so easy.
Too quick, I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, next time, pack an espresso machine in your big fucking bitch bag.
Oh my God.
He was like the body person, they call it, the...
Bodyguard?
No. Actually, like... Is the guy that carries around things for the president or vice president.
Oh.
It's more than an assistant, but it's not. It's more like a gopher.
Okay.
But they call him the president's body or the vice president's body. Like, they're like, you need paper to wipe your butt. There you go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but the Tony Hale's character was so good at it and so funny because like he was so all up on her that she was like, look, man, enough. Like, yeah, I just thought that you don't have to celebrate that. That's good. Go away. You know what I mean? And I love that. So, what you got? You good?
Yeah. What's that?
That's a Carolina thing. You're good?
You good?
You're good means everything.
Is it really?
Hi, how are you? How's your mom? How's your dad? How are your kids? It's all, it all goes into, you good?
You good?
Yeah. Doesn't even answer that. It's the same.
That's good to know because I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's sort of like the opposite way, the opposite side of bless your heart. Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. And if he goes to bless your little heart, that's worse. You don't even know what they're telling you. 2013 has a lot. I think 2020, that's when the years... They start to like literally go at us with shows that we couldn't even like. I'll get to it. That was the reaction, right? Like, I'll get to these. She was like, "This is I'm watching these right now. I don't have time for that. I'll get to that." Right. So, what was happening in 2013, Jocelyn?
So in the news, we had one of the first times a major city in the United States filed for bankruptcy. A city filed for bankruptcy. That was the city of Detroit. That was Detroit.
Yeah.
It was for $18 billion.
There are countries in the Caribbean you could buy, build, and
or you could buy Detroit for 18.
Yeah,
I don't know why you would buy Detroit.
Nobody wants to buy, which is why it's bankrupt to begin with. Detroit, no, we'll pass. Yeah, St. Thomas, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Yo,
Detroit,
hey, Detroit,
Thomas.
we're just kidding.
No.
But it's true though. Y'all ain't shit. Oh no, again,
go to Detroit and say that.
Eh?
Go to Detroit and say that.
I ain't gonna.
Yeah, no.
I have no reasons to go to Detroit. That's
I don't think anyone has.
He's trying to tell me not to diss Detroit.
No.
All right, man.
We're trying to save our asses here, and we're just digging a deeper hole.
Yeah.
The other thing that happened was the U.S. Supreme Court found in favor of gay marriage. So the government was like, you can marry whoever you want to marry.
Nobody can see shit.
Yep. And that was huge for gay rights.
I may be overstepping in terms of giving credit, but I think the whole shift wouldn't have gone as far if at some point, I want to say Joe Biden had a lot to do with it because of his big mouth. I think privately, Obama had told Joe Biden, look, man, I'm for whoever wants to marry everyone, but he wouldn't say it publicly. And Joe Biden just let it slip. So Obama had to come out and say it, Because, Uncle Joe be saying shit. All right, so yeah, that was dope. That's a year to remember, isn't it?
Yep.
And a year to remember also on TV and movies. So since you have only one, tell me what you got for 2013.
Broadchurch.
You were one of the first to watch Broadchurch.
Broadchurch. Yes.
Do you remember Broadchurch?
Is it on Netflix?
Yes. Mm-hmm. We watched it, actually.
Wait, what? No, I didn't. There's no way.
Broadchurch gets hands on heart because it's an incredibly good show, a beautiful show. Olivia Colman is so good in this show.
I think it used to
David Tennant is so good in this show. Oh, it's perfect.
Miller. You need to understand Miller. Miller. What are you looking for here, Miller? You just wait, Miller. Oh, Miller, we've got them.
Jodie with the girl, wasn't it?
Yeah. The current Doctor Who.
Yeah. But that came out in 2013.
Yes.
If I told you what year I discovered it, you would be like, you should go back to bed. It's like I woke up in 2017 that I actually discovered Broadchurch.
Yep.
But it's an incredibly good show and
I feel like it's been overlooked because when I was looking at lists and we were looking at lists for this show, it was mentioned nowhere. And I don't understand why, because it's amazing. And I've
never heard anybody here in the US other than the two of us talk about Broadchurch.
Watch Broadchurch, you dumbasses.
Yes. It's just, you can, and then you're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you? What you had in 2013?
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
You son of a bitch! I'm in.
I can't. I could never watch the show, but it just. I feel like it changed the internet in a weird way. It's just this whole different community of people just came out, but you can't put a label on those people. It's just weird. Yeah,
it's like everybody suddenly found their tribe.
Yeah,
and we're comfortable coming out and being like, "Yep,
all the Rick and Morty fans came out."
So Rick and Morty, to you, it had an impact in the culture that made it will never be the same.
Yeah, on internet culture, for sure.
So I'd like to amplify on that. I'd like to know more about it, but no. So good. So for me, yes, I had Rick and Morty, but not because I knew much about it. Thank you for explaining. A silly show came out called Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's and you know the biggest surprise for me on Brooklyn Nine-Nine? That Andre Braugher is actually part of that shit. One of the most serious, one of the most talented actors out there.
Oh, is that the sergeant?
The black dude, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is awesome. I'm talking about, like, imagine if Forrest Whitaker and who else? And Shakespeare's DNA and had like a baby and shit. His name would be Andre Braugher. But it's silly. I'll never watch it. And whatever. That's why I'm telling you 2013 was a big year, because The Americans, one of the greatest freaking shows ever, came out. Orphan Black came out. Rectify came out. Hannibal came out. Orange is the New Black. All of that came out in 2013. So The Americans it's my show of that year. But later I discovered Orphan Black, and I don't know where to go with that now, because everything I thought was good about The Americans, when I watched Orphan Black, I was like, no, this is it. Orange is the New Black took a turn like an ABC show. Yeah. So it started good and then boom, went terrible. You told me you watched like one season? No?
Yeah, I think I watched the first season of it and then just never could get back into it again.
Yeah, The Americans though. Greatest thing to happen in this past decade. Greatest thing to happen.
I liked Orphan Black. Even though I didn't watch it, I would come downstairs when you were watching it.
Yes.
And I was just interested. There's always something happening.
Tatiana Maslany, I think it's a bit unjust that we don't give that much credit to Tatiana Maslany. And she played about 15 characters of her own self several times in the entire show. So good.
Yeah, it's one of those that's on my list that I keep meaning to watch. And when it first came out, I was like, oh, that looks like something I would love. Be sure to tune in next week for 2014 and 2015 highlights from our Best of the Decade show. Thanks for watching.
Definitely, perhaps one of the best shows on regular TV.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget, like and subscribe.